This is an in-depth tour of the all-new 2020 Toyota Corolla Sedan ZR. Towards the front, you got bi-LED headlights, as you can see. Also blacked out as well, which is quite nice. You can see the front fascia here, very similar to the Corolla hatch. You also have your adaptive cruise control center mounted towards the front as well. Also a nice little detail. Just move around here. The fuel consumption of this car is 6 liters per 100 kilometers. Urban 7.6, extra urban 5.0. In terms of the model, it's a 2-litre engine CVT sedan. Also, you may have noticed I got my gloves on because of obviously the pandemic going on. The wheels. In terms of the tyres, they are a Dunlop. They are Dunlop tyres. Dunlop SP Sport Max 050 tyres, and they are made in Japan. In terms of the actual tyre size, it's an 18-inch tyre. It's quite nice. You can see the finish in it as well. It's got this metallic gunmetal grey finish. You got LED indicators mounted into the side view mirrors. In terms of the purpose of that, it's not just for styling, it's actually to help make you more visible, especially when you're making lane changes, because it's a lot easier for people to see you when you're doing lane changes because the indicators are within your field of view. You may have seen in the past they used to put the indicators on the side, so it's a little added extra feature, safety feature. Show you the interior. So disc brakes in the rear and obviously in the front as well. See your tail lights. Here as well. Single exhaust. Now I do have the key fob with me, so I'll just show you the key fob right here. So a pretty standard looking key. The braking lights. You can see you got a rear backup camera as well. Now, one thing about the difference between the hatch and the sedan is actually the boot space. Now, the problem with the hatch is the boot space is actually quite small, whereas on the sedan it is massive, so it's actually really good. So it's actually really wide too, and yeah, look at the amount of volume, like look how large it is, and this is a hatch, so it's actually really big. So this one's got a optional rubber mat, which you can obviously do it if you want that as well. Now if I lift this up, I've got a toolkit. You got a toolkit, and I believe you would have a space for a spare tire as well. So very wide. The seats do fold down as well, which I just want to check. Sometimes they have the handles in the boot like they do on the Camry, so I'm just curious to find out how you fold down the rear seats on this one. Oh, there you go. So you got a button here. If I press this one down, comes down, and if I repeat the same process on the other side. So as I was saying, with the Camry you have two toggles in the boot, you just pull them down. on the Corolla Sedan, you've got these little buttons which are quite hidden away nicely. So press that down. So obviously got the seat in the way, so I'm gonna have to like move the seat a little bit forward. Ooh. Didn't know that. I'll just move the seat back there. Didn't see the sign though. Just move the seat just a tiny bit. Okay, there you go. So here's the seat down. Now you can see, if I go back here again, you got a little bit of a ridge, you can see here. But they do fold down, which I guess is the main thing. But in terms of boots, boot space is actually quite large, so you can easily fit some large suitcases, which is the main thing, so that's actually quite good. Little handle here. Now this is actually emergency release, so let's say you get locked in the boot or trapped, you can just pull this and it'll release the boot, so you can actually get out freely. And you can see it also glows as well, which is quite good, so because it's quite dark in there in case you can't see it when you do get trapped. So yeah. Now there's no pass-through, as you can see, which is kind of unfortunate. And it locks in place like that. Now I'll show you the interior of the Corolla Sedan ZR. Okay. Do have powered seats, rear, forward, and a button for your lumbar support. You want to increase or decrease the lumbar support, which I think is quite useful. In case you're wondering, the new Corolla Sedan is made in Japan, whereas in the previous one just the hatch is made in Japan and the Sedan is built in Thailand, whereas this one, both hatch and Sedan, is made in Japan, which is actually quite nice. So just looking at the steering wheel, you got up and down, and that's about it. So I don't think you have any. Oh wait, no, you got telescoping function as well, which is quite useful, and you also have tilt, as I just demonstrated. So I'm just going to turn it on just to show you the accessories of the car. Got that's on, which is embarrassing. So here you go. So here is everything on. So you got a full multi-function display in the center, as you can see. You've got your rev counter towards the left, and then you've got your temperature gauge and fuel gauge towards the right. So obviously multi-function display in the center has many benefits. It has the ability to adapt, so depending on whatever driving situation you have. So for example, if you're driving and then you want your maps, you can be displayed in front of you, or if you want live traffic updates, so those sorts of things, which is quite useful. So yeah, so that's pretty much why cars are going towards them now. Let's turn this off for a moment. So you got a leather wrap steering wheel, as you can see. Get hard to focus with the nice black stitching here. You can see all the buttons are very solid, very well made. Even all the switches are nice. Got some power shifters, minus, plus, and then you've got your wiper controls to the left, and you've got your headlight indicator controls to the right, and you can see the quality is quite nice. Very solid feeling. Let's turn on the infotainment system. Now, with the infotainment system, one thing that Toyota did lack was Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So the Corolla Sedan and Hatch have got them, so it's actually really great. So they've got that. So if I just click home, okay, maybe that is home, I'm not too sure. Menu maybe? Okay, so I'm just seeing that home. So this one is fitted with the JBL sound system. I might have to use this opportunity to put up the turn up this. I thought just pop the windows would be a little bit easier, and so if I go to FM. So if I just go to the station list, I'll just play like a random track. And play some more. So it's got some good low end. It's very crisp and clear.
Wait.
So I'm doing that deliberately, as you guys know. Good bass, very clear. There we go. Menu. Got navigation. And I know a lot of people are like, what's the point of having navigation? Well, if you're going interstate, navigation will be better than Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, because the reception isn't as good. So if I just put tested on. I think they improved the screen as well. I thought it was a bit laggy before. I don't know if it's had a software update or they've just updated it, but it seems to be a lot more responsive. You can see. Let's click a random one. Coin laundry on there, and you can see the map. How can you? I can just do this. Yeah, not too bad. Apps. Okay, so maybe you probably just have to install them, but I'll ask those options. But yeah, you get the idea. I mean, I don't want to fiddle with this all day. You got climate control. Ooh, cold. Typical Toyota. See, the hottest is 32, and the coldest you can go is 18. Very powerful, typical Toyota. You can see different zones. Recycling. Cool. Front and rear demister. Heated ones for the side view mirrors, very useful. Yeah, and you can see the buns have some nice feedback. One useful feature, you can see you got not just heated seats, but you can see that a little bit illuminated. You can see you've got wireless charging, very handy with actually plugging your phone on charge, and you press that and charge your phone wirelessly. Got a 10-speed CVT transmission, so it's also quite nice. With you can see you got a vinyl shift boost, 8 different driving modes, electronic parking brake. Now I don't have my bottles, and there's a reason for it, because obviously the pandemic, so I don't want to contaminate. So that's one thing I'm just trying to do, just for safety precaution. But I have done some testing. Yeah, you can fit the big bottle in there, which is actually quite useful. Got a 12-volt power outlet along with a 2.1. Looks like a fast charging power outlet as well, which is quite good. You can see your seats; they are leather. They're different to the ZR you get on the hatch. You can see you got the sort of striped pattern, and so very nice. Actually, it might be a vinyl. I think it's a vinyl actually, not leather. But I like the pattern, very nice, very supportive. Kind of reminds me of the 8.6. Got a non-padded glove box. You can see all here, it's all nice soft touch vinyl. Got this thin strip of blue stitching there, which the camera won't focus. Looks like you got a powered sunroof. So on this one. I just can press that, can close. Very cool stuff, and you can obviously open and close like that. Obviously, you got your vanity mirror, very standard. Got another one here. Quite nice. See the sides, you can see you've got some space to put some drinks. It's very useful. The door cards are quite nice. You've got a little thin piece of soft touch material here. All switches feel very nice and premium feeling as well. Got some storage. You can put a small bottle there, maybe like a small Mount Franklin water bottle. They're probably about 600 milliliters. So here, all hard plastics. So it's not very useful in the camera. Got one map pocket here. Now you don't have any rear vents, which I find a bit disappointing. So they probably channel it either from the bottom or it's all directly from the front. You got a single armrest here, which has space for 2 cups with no pass through. I think I've already mentioned that. Legroom, I think you got a lot more room here. That's one thing I noticed. And also what I like about the ZR on this one is, now they've already quite well bolstered the seats as it is. So if you compare it to the ZR on the hatch, they become more of a bucket seat and it feels a lot smaller. So this feels a little more roomier. That's one thing I noticed. Now because of the sunroof, you can see you got a little bit of a lump here, so that kind of eats into headroom a little bit, so that's a bit weird. But when you put your head back, I guess you're okay. But just about here feels a bit, just here feels a little bit too close, but it's alright. You can see you got space to keep your feet on the side or over here. And I'll just show you so you can see the dashboard from the rear seat. Let's see if we can do that. Very nice. So it's a little bit annoying. So like I mentioned, you can see hard plastics all here. So I'll show what I'm talking about. So you can see that the actual headliner is really, that's just solely because of the sunroof, so I probably would not go for the sunroof. I'll just show you the engine real quick. So it's a 2-litre engine, in case you're wondering. Whoop. Hard to see with the and this is going to get a little bit messy. So, there you go. So here's the engine. And the battery's made in Japan too. That's quite cool. So it's hard to press the focus button, especially when I'm wearing gloves on. So the engine's also made in Japan. Also just that unit. Very simple to work on, very easy. Typical Toyota. That's my little walk around of the all new 2020 Toyota Corolla Sedan ZR. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll leave details in the description below. And thanks for watching.